Well, welcome to Chris's Beer Reviews. How are you? Hope you're doing really well. It's been a few days since I put out a video. So this one, it's not a beer review. It's a bit of an unboxing video and a general bit of chit chat really. Don't really do chit chat on my channel. But there's a couple of things on my mind that I want to have a chit chat about. So I'm going to pour myself a beer while we do that. And then I'll show you what I've picked up on my travels recently. We might as well start with this black lager, which I love. I love this black lager. Costa Rica, original German beer. So yeah, it's a black lager coming in at 4.8%, I believe. Yeah, 4.8%. Now I picked this up, and when I was 2 weekends ago, I was up Lord's Brewing. I was up there with John and his wife and his kids, and obviously I went to the brewery. I did a beer review while I was in there as well. I haven't uploaded that beer review yet, and I did a tour of the brewery, and I put that video out. But not far away from where John lives, there's a beer shop called the Crate Escape, which is like a warehouse size shop. It's huge. And they had just stocked with masses of beer that has been overstocked, or it's coming up to its best before date, or has gone past its best before date, and it is absolutely cheap as chips. It was like a kid at Christmas in there, just beer everywhere. And they had this in there, and it's literally had only just gone out of date when I bought it. It went out of date on the 15th of November 22. Well, I say go out of date, that was its best before, and it still tastes absolutely fantastic. So I picked up 2 cases of that, 24 bottles in a case, 15 quid, which is immense. 15 quid for 24 bottles of fantastic German beer. So I picked up a couple of cases, so 48 bottles for 30 quid, which was just fantastic. And then they've got like dump bins around with various beers in them, where you just pull them out. They're either £1 each or £9 for 12. And so up in this corner, I haven't spun the camera around so you can't see it, but there's quite a number of those beers up there. So I said to John, he took me in there, I said, just pick me out 12 beers, and I barely looked at them, to be honest, but we've just got some real random stuff. Nesta Tropical Foreign Extra Stout, 6% ABV. Bevok Brewery, don't even know what this is. A Scottish Wildcat Robust Porter. Funky. And there's just 12 various beers up there, which I may well review. I may just drink them, who knows. Anyway, let's have a slurp of the old beer while we're chatting. So yeah, that was so good. It's ridiculously good. So yeah, last weekend I was up there, up in Huddersfield with John. It was a great time, really nice to spend time with his wife Lydia and the kids, and we did family type things as well. It wasn't all about beer, so that was quite nice. So this weekend, apart from Saturday, so yesterday we went down to Bristol because we've bought a dog. The cats are not impressed. They'll work it out. So we bought a dog, not a puppy. He's 4 years old. She is 4 years old. It's a cockapoo called Olive, and she's a bouncy little thing. So we've got a dog. So we went down across to Bristol yesterday, met the dog. We've had communications via text and phone calls. They decided that we were the right fit to take the dog on. So we went down there yesterday, spent some time with the dog yesterday, took it out for walks, and then this morning we went and picked her up. So last night, whilst we were there, we went out for something to eat, and we were struggling to find anywhere. We went in one pub, but literally only sold burgers, so we moved on. So we ended up in a Brewdog bar. Now, believe it or not, that was the first time I've ever been in a Brewdog bar. I don't go to many brewery tap rooms. I generally don't. I've got such a good pub near me that's great. So for me to go to brewery tap rooms, I've always got to travel to it. You right there? PD's just having a chat. So yeah, I've been in the Tiny Rebel one in Cardiff. That was okay. I've been in the Mad Squirrel tap room in St Albans. That was pretty good. So yeah, we went in the Brewdog one because I know they do food, and people say the food in there is generally quite good. So we had some pizzas, and they were pretty good pizzas actually. So whilst I was in there, and I am a Brewdog basher, there's no denying that, so I'm going to sound a bit hypocritical by going in there, but they can produce good beer. However, I had a pint of a Punk IPA, and it's still just as bad. I was hoping on tap in their tap room it might be a little bit better than what's in the supermarket, but you can clearly see it. You look at it, you think that is just still isn't the beer that it once was. So it is such a shame, and they're charging £5.95 a pint for that. And it's just not, it's still not good. It's still not a good beer. It's not the punk IPA it once was, but we know this, and it's been debated many times. However, I then had spit your words out, Chris. I then had a pint of Kingpin lager. That was actually quite nice. That was actually quite a decent lager, Kingpin. So I may well have that again in the future. but what I want to kind of, shall I show you the beers I've bought first and then go back to what I want to talk about? No, I'm on it. I'm pretty much on it. What I want to talk about is taproom prices and the size of the glasses that you can buy. So there were very few beers in that Brewdog taproom that you could have a pint of. Now most of the beards, a lot of people in there had beards. Most of the beers come in 2/3 glasses. That's a 2/3 glass, the old tulip style glass. Pretty much that's the style that was in there, the 2/3 glasses. Now I don't like 2/3 glasses. If it fits a 330ml bottle in, happy days. But if I'm in a pub or a tap room, I want pints of beer. Now, do they do it because some of them are quite high ABV and they're trying to be sensible and trying not to get people absolutely smashed? But then there's also an even smaller glass than the 2/3. Can't remember what it was. Was it a third? And there's no scope to move on that. You can't say, no, can I have a pint of it? It's 2/3 and that's that. Now, there were a couple that I wanted to try, and some of them were, I say only, but like 6.8%. I drink 440ml cans at 6.8%. Okay, I'm not sessioning them, but I want a pint of it. So for a 2/3 glass of, it was a KC BC beer that I wanted to try, that was £6.95, 2/3. I wouldn't pay it, refused. I thought, I'm not doing it. I want a pint of the stuff for that money. For £6.95, I want a pint of it. And then I looked at all the other guest beers, and some of those were like in a third for silly money. So is it just a way of getting more money out of you, or is it them trying to be responsible because they're big high ABV beers, so they don't want to serve it to you in a pint form? For the big impy stouts they had in there, I do kind of get it, but even some of those are in a third glass, but ridiculous money. So is it a con? Are they thinking of your well-being and your safety? Or is it just a way of abstracting more money out of you? And that is generally why I don't spend a lot of time in tap rooms, because of the cost of them. They are bloody expensive. Now when I was up at Lord's, it wasn't anything like that. You could buy pints, but it didn't have super high ABV beers. So it frustrated. I didn't spend much money in there. However, I did buy 2 Brewdog beers whilst I was in there to bring home with me. But yeah, it really kind of peed me off. I thought there's some great sounding beers on there, or the guest beers, that I thought, yeah, I'd love to try those, but I'm not paying £7 for a 2/3 glass. I'm just not doing it. I'm not made of money. I can afford to buy myself some nice beers in cans and bottles every now and then, but I'm not going in a tap room and I'm spending money on food and etc. No, I'm not paying that sort of money for a 2/3 glass. But what are your thoughts? Do you think it's right? Do you think they should sell them in 2/3 glasses? Are they being responsible? Is that what it's supposed to look like? Or is it just a way of getting more money out of you? You tell me. Tell me what you think in the comments. So let's talk about the beers that I've bought then. Something else I found about Bristol. A beautiful train station at Bristol. Absolutely stunning train station. I know it's a city, and I know this happens in a city, but I've never seen a city so covered in graffiti like Bristol. Absolutely covered in it. Everywhere you went, nearly every building was covered in graffiti. Every even lamppost, the telecom boxes, the green boxes, whatever they're called, covered in everything, covered in graffiti. Bins covered in graffiti. I've never seen a city that bad for graffiti. There were some quite works of art. Some of it was quite interesting, but generally horrendous amounts of graffiti in Bristol. Bit odd, but there you go. Anyway, so let's talk about the 2 beers that I bought in the Brewdog shop. So the first one, it's been out a while. It's been out a year, I think, maybe even a bit longer. Is the Practice What You Preach Le Trappe quadruple with Scottish heather honey, aged in whiskey barrels. Le Trappe are fantastic. They make some amazing beers. So I've eyed this up a number of times. I have eyed it up a number of times, and it's coming up for Christmas, and I've done a lot of overtime at work. So I thought, why not treat myself to an expensive beer? Now you're probably thinking, if you've got the money to treat yourself to an expensive beer, why buy a Brewdog beer? But I've been tempted with this one for about a year, so I've picked it up. It's got some faults on the box that you might have heard about in other beer videos, but it's a very, very good box. Very, very well made. Practice what you preach. It's blue and black, this box. It's got a lot of writing on the side. It's got a wood cap at the top end, wood cap at the bottom end, but it's really well made. It really is good quality. There's two magnets in here to keep it nice and tightly shut. It is a very well made presentation box. This bottle cost 25 quid. That's the most expensive beer I've ever bought for this channel. In fact, it is the most expensive beer I've ever bought anyway. It is a lot of money, but it is a 750ml bottle, if that kind of helps out. It is 750. It's 11% ABV, but I got a sneaky feeling they were originally trying to brew this to be 10%, because there's a sticker on there that says 11% ABV. Underneath that it says 10%, and on the side in the text it even says this 10% exploration of past and present. There's a bit more. So was this originally meant to be 10%, and somehow it's come out at 11%, and they did all their packaging for it? So a couple of faults on the box, which when you're paying that sort of money, they shouldn't be on there. But it is a very good looking box, and a great looking big 750 bottle with your cork and cage over the cork. Yeah, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? So I'm working a lot of hours over December. I don't know how many sort of reviews I'm going to get out over December. I'm doing an awful lot of hours and then a lot of overtime. So I'm going to try and save that for Christmas, but I'm working all the way up until Christmas. So who knows when that will come out? I might not even get that out this year. But I'd like to get it done this year. So I bought that. And there's another one that I bought that just took my fancy. It is another Brewdog beer, and it's Dog J 330ml chocolate imperial, a chocolate chili imperial stout. I love chili and stouts, absolutely love chili and stouts. Imperial stouts, you may have heard me mention it a few times on my channel over the last few months, even longer. I started to struggle with imperial stouts. I was going off them. I just found that thick, oily mouthfeel too much, and I just kind of went off it. And I know there was criticism around some of the Vocation Naughty and Nice selection beers, especially the Bounty one, which was an imperial, that people were saying the mouthfeel was a bit thin for an imperial. It was, but I liked it because it was a bit thin. It didn't have that thick, oily stuff to it. So this worries me, but I love chocolate and I love chili. It is 14.1% ABV. I mean, it is filled right to the very top. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. I'll definitely get that reviewed before Christmas. I might even review it tonight. I'll see how I feel. Let's have a drink. So yeah, I might review it tonight. I'm quite tired. I didn't sleep very well last night. That probably certainly put you to sleep. Price of that was a staggering £14. My wife nearly threw up when she heard the price of that. She could live with the price of that, but when the guy said, yeah, that's £14, yeah, my wife nearly threw up. I mean, it made it made me think, but I've not seen any reviews on it. I've never even heard of it. So I thought, you know what, like I say, I've done a bit of overtime to pay for the Christmas beers, so why not pick it up? So that'd be an interesting one to review. So whilst in Bristol, it would have been very rude of me not to have gone to one of my most favourite breweries, being New Bristol Brewery. So I had to pop in there today after we picked the dog up, and I picked up 6 beers in there. 6 beers for £20. I don't know whether they got that wrong or not, but I wasn't complaining at 6 New Bristol beers for 20 quid. I wasn't going to complain at that. That works out about £3.33 a can. That's a bargain. But certainly for a couple that you're going to see in here, that are probably way more to buy singly. But yeah, so I picked up six new Bristol breweries that are they just make fantastic beers. I know I absolutely panned one that I reviewed a few weeks ago, and it deserved to be. It just wasn't very, very good. So the first one that we're going to take out of the box is Up Close Magic, a double dry hopped IPA coming in at 7% ABV. The usual absolutely fantastic artwork that you get with New Bristol Brewery. Absolutely fantastic. Let's pop that there. And then we have the Joy of Sesh. The Joy of Sesh. Fun enough, that's going to be a session IPA coming in at 4.2% ABV. Session IPA, usual crazy artwork, crazy artwork, but I love it. I'll go into more when I review these. Will I review them all? I don't know, but I certainly will review some of them. And let's save that one. And then we've got Three Falling. This is a collab with Vibrant Forest Brewery, who I've never heard of. Three Falling is a micro pale ale, people. Comes in at a staggering 3% ABV. But again, the artwork's just bonkers. 3% ABV. Do you know what? At 3% ABV, it's going to be light. It's probably going to be a bit kind of on the very watery thin side. But if anyone can get flavours out of a 3% ABV, it'd be New Bristol Brewery. So I'll definitely review that one, and good if you're on driving duties. Then we have one. This one's been around a while. I mean, they put all the can dates on the bottom, and a couple of these have only been canned in the last few days, or certainly the last week. But this one has been out a while. Tell us about it. A single hop IPA coming in at 6.5%. Now, I'm fairly sure Dean's Beer Reviews has reviewed that. I'm sure others probably have as well. And then it would be silly not to have one of my most favourite beers from New Bristol Brewery. This is just an amazing stout at 4%. 4% stout is the Cinder Toffee Stout. They did 3 in the range of the Cinder Toffee Stouts, going all the way up in ABV. And then they did an espresso martini version, which was just staggering. I reviewed that back in February, and it's still the best stout I've had this year, the espresso martini version. But there is Cinder Toffee Stout. Would have been very, very rude not to pick up another can of that. Just fantastic. At 4%, it's the best drinking 4% stout I've ever had. Easy to drink, fantastic flavour. This was only canned on the 24th of November. So, what, 4 days ago, a few days ago that was canned. Amazing. And then the last one out, the 6, is another collab beer. This one is collabed with Drop Project Brewing. It's Toblerone. Basically, this one's called Toblerone Stout, chocolate, honey and almond, coming in at 7% ABV. I'm quite tempted to review that one tonight, actually. So many temptations. So yeah, 6 beers, 20 quid. Bargain. Absolute bargain. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. That's what we've been doing. Did a nice live with John and Paul the other night. That was good fun. Lives are something I need to do more of, and I say it all the time, but it's just getting the time. I do work a lot, and I'm very busy, so trying to do lives is a bit difficult, but I want to. I do want to do them and sort of showcase the man cave a bit more on a live. So yeah, there you go really. So they're the beers that I've picked up. A good couple of weekends. Now I've got to get the cat's used to the dog, and the dog used to the cat. The dog is immense, super playful, super friendly, and all it wants to do is play with the cats. So when a cat runs, the dog thinks the cats are playing and the cats aren't, but the cats will soon put the dog in its place. So there you go. But yeah, going back to what I was saying at the beginning, tell me what your thoughts are on 2 third glasses in tap rooms. Is it a con? Is it just to get more money out of you, or are they being sensible and trying to stop you getting absolutely hammered? Is that what it's all about? Who knows? But yeah, I've quite enjoyed this little chat. Nice little ramble on. So maybe I should do more of this rambling on lives, and then can interact with comments and get more conversation going about it. Maybe I'll do that on a live. However, there are some things that have happened over the last week that have given me thoughts for lives. Certainly some discussion topics that have kind of happened this week. Things that I've picked up on. Nothing bad, nothing drama like, just things that I think are probably worthy of a discussion, which could be on a live. So I'll hang on to those thoughts. But the chances of me doing a live in December are probably going to be quite slim. Might jump on the back of somebody else's live, because if they're live, there's no point me going live. So I might do that. But yeah, the plan in the new year is to do more lives. And one final thought while I'm here is, most of you may well know that I've got another channel, Sydney Stomer channel, which is all about life of a colostomy and Crohn's disease. That channel has gone over 1,000 subscribers now, which is amazing, absolutely fantastic, because that channel means an awful lot to me, that channel, because it's all about helping people. And helping people through having a colostomy or having Crohn's disease, etc. And it is massively powerful, that channel, and it's helped a lot of people. The comments are amazing that I get on there. So if any of you guys that are subscribed to that channel, that have, you know, tuned into that and subscribed to it, thank you very much. Like I say, it's gone over 1,000, and that's incredible. It's not monetizable yet, because you also have to have 4,000 hours of watch views. And I've only got 37 videos on there, because I only put out content that I think will mean something and help people. So if you have subscribed to that channel, thank you very much. It is really appreciated, and that channel really does help a lot of people. So there you go. I don't know why I keep looking down at those beers. Just look at the camera, that's where you all are. Anyway, I'm all done. Thank you very much for watching. This has probably gone on way longer than I planned, and I will see you all very soon on a beer review. Take care, bye now.